Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, lovelies, you beautiful people. Good to see your faces all here. I am so grateful that each of you are here coming together to share and to receive this wonderful information, because we want to be able to transform ourselves and we want to be able to transform our business. And sometimes it's difficult, that white wall doesn't talk back. So sometimes it is really difficult to do it all by ourselves. And so I'm so pleased that you're all here on this mini series to create that transformation on what we know to improve our business moving forward. So I would like to honor each and every one of you and your energy for being a part of that. So today is so exciting, all right, as we're talking about promoting to persuade. Yeah. And this is a very exciting part of your marketing journey. So when we have a business, yes, we need to promote that business. We need to tell people that we exist. So we stop being the best kept secret, right? And as I said a number of times, you've got to remember that people are busy, yeah? And they're busy being busy. And it's up to us to tell them that we are here to help them. Okay, so you've got to remember there's people, people have got up in the morning, they've maybe rushed around, had a bad night's sleep, had arguments with their children, had arguments with their other halves. They're always active, right? Their minds are always active, and we've got to try and cut through all that clutter and get our very important message across to them, all right? So we're here to tell them that no matter what is going on in their lives, what their problems or pains are, we are here to help them solve those pains, those problems, those frustrations, right? And it's also up to us as business owners to make our promotions easy, okay? Easy to understand, easy to digest, and of course easy to remember, so that your premium clients can also find it very easy to reach out and contact you. We don't want our messages to be scrambled or unclear or confusing, okay? It's up to us to firstly understand in our own minds what it is that we can help people with, and then to clearly communicate a compelling one sentence message that is specific for you and your business. And it clearly explains your distinctive edge from the competition. And that puts you clearly in the blue ocean, right? Right from the beginning of the start of your business. Okay, now before I go on any further, you may have seen in my email, and I just want to let you know that I am going to be opening a few pathway calls up for people who want to talk about developing their promotional platform, all right, after today's trainings, all right? Or you might want to talk about your irresistible offer and how to put that all together. Or you may still be a bit confused about what your distinctive edge is for that never-ending problem. So remember, guys, I am here to support you. So if you want to learn how to implement any of this specifically into your own business, I would highly recommend you to book a call. And on this call, we will just sit down and we'll talk about your business right now, where it is right now. We'll talk about the goals that you have for your business, and we'll talk about what it looks like to implement what I'm sharing with you here today. So at any given point during this process, if you want one of these calls, okay, just drop call in the comments and we'll reach out to you and set this up. All right, and then we'll move ahead and we'll move forward and we'll help you wherever you are stuck in your business. Okay, so let's pull out the workbook. This is the goal by the end of the week. You are going to have your pathway to scaling your business to 10K plus through your transformational work. Okay, so remember, it is day 3. Okay, so let's look at day 3's first question, right? And that is, what would your main message be that you would be able to use over and over again? Okay, and use, when I use the word use, it's basically using it from a verbal perspective as well as from a written perspective. Okay, so this is the criteria, right? You've got to pick, first off, your ideal client. Okay, so it's, for example, a group of people that has this never-ending problem that you can solve. Okay, so they might share a similar agenda, a similar age, a similar type of job, similar industry, a similar problem, whatever it may be. But the main criteria is that you love to spend time with these people, and you know that you can help them gain big promise results. Okay, and you've also got to enjoy it. So you want to make sure that they have a problem that you have solved, or at least you know how to solve it. Okay, and you've got to be passionate about it. So look at what you've done in the past with past clients, what you've worked with, what was the main components that you've loved to do and you've got really good results from. Okay, remember also that this group of people must have money, all right? They must be able to pay you. So make sure that they've got money to be able to pay you, right? Because it doesn't matter how good you are. If they can't pay you, then you're not going to survive, all right? And you've got to make sure that this market is big enough, all right? Big enough that there is plenty of people throughout your town, your village, your city, your state, your country, the world. Okay, so you don't want to pick a niche where there's not going to be a lot of people with this particular problem. So make sure there is a big enough market. Okay, does that make sense? All right, drop yes, it makes sense in the comments below. All right, I want you to ask yourself, also, what is the demographic? So what is their age range, their gender, their interests, their occupation, or even their status, relationship status, all right? Because you could be working from a health perspective or you can be working from a business perspective. So whatever perspective you're working from, I would like you to ask yourself these questions, all right, to make sure that you're not trying to attract everybody. You want to be able to narrow and attract your ideal client, okay? Then I want you to ask yourself these two questions. Now, the first one is, what is the top core problem that you think your audience has, your ideal client? Okay, what is the top core problem? Not all of their problems. What is the top core problem? And this is the problem that you love to solve and that you are passionate to solve and that you can solve over and over and over again. Okay, so write, 3 down, the top 3. Now, what is the top solution that you give to the person that has this problem, all right? So the person that you've chosen as your ideal client. So what is their top problem and what is your top solution? And we're going to marry those two together. Okay, so once you know the answers to these two questions, then you've got to come up with a 1-sentence message, right? So it's not going to be general. It's not going to be too long because you need to be able to say this particular sentence when people say to you, hey, Deborah, what do you do? Right? Got it? Okay. Your compelling sentence should make them feel like you know and understand them. So it's got to be specific. You've got to be able to say in 1 sentence what you do really compelling. All right, in a really compelling way that causes them to go, wow, I need what you've got. My brother, sister, friend needs what you've got. Okay, and more importantly, it needs to be simple and easy to say, so then you can say it with confidence and you don't feel icky in saying it. You've got to say it with conviction, and you've got to say it with authenticity. Okay, so don't make it too hard. Don't use words that don't roll off your tongue. Don't make it that it makes you feel a bit strange or funny, because it's not going to come across with conviction. You need to say that these are the people you help, and say it with conviction. Okay, now there's 4 examples I'm going to give you here. Okay, so the first one is, you could say something like, say for me, it would be something like, I help female coaches to do 10K months in 3 months or less. Okay, so it's a conversation answering what you do. Okay, so what do? Oh, I work with female coaches to help them make 10,000K per month in 3 months or less. Okay, so with that, when you're in a conversation with that sort of spiel, it will get people to say, oh, okay, how do you do that? And then it allows you to focus on those benefit statements, which is what your irresistible offer is. Oh, well, I coach them through this, and I got this course that they can run through that will get them this. I help them every step of the way. I get them all visibility, credibility, make it easy, whatever you want to say. Okay, so the opening line, when you're verbally telling people what you do, needs to give them the, oh, how do you do that factor? So then you can then launch into your irresistible, compelling offer, which is basically, oh, well, I get them all visibility, then I do this, then I do that, which in turn creates them 10 grand months. Does that make sense? Drop yes in the comments below. Okay, so that is your first one. Short, sharp, sweet, getting people to go, oh, tell me more. Okay, now the second one is a little bit longer, because this is the one that you want to put on your online platforms. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever you do, you want one that's a little bit longer that you can put on your social media platforms. Okay, so it might be something like, I help female coaches to earn 10K months in 3 months or less without struggling to get leads. Okay, I help female coaches to earn 10K months in 3 months or less without struggling to get leads. So whatever the painful obstacle is that they want to avoid, that goes there. Okay, so it's short, sharp, sweet, because in some cases, like in Instagram and Facebook, you don't have an awful lot of characters. So you've got to, again, still be short, sharp, sweet to be able to fit it there. Okay, the third one is a little bit longer. You know, I help this target market who has this pain point, which is whatever it is that keeps them, you know, awake at night, tossing and turning, to get these desired results. So when you're doing this, your 1 sentence message should be the language that your clients use in their head. Okay, I'll repeat that. Okay, it's the language that your clients use in their head, not in your head. Okay, because for example, if I said to you, I help coaches to financially secure their future and generate people who want to do business with them. Now, when you've heard that, you know that not many coaches will say that in their head, right? They're just like, I want to make money. I want to make this amount of money in this amount of time, and I want to get this amount of clients in this amount of time. That's what business owners are all about. I need clients, I need money, and this is the goals, basically. Yeah. So use their language, the language your clients are thinking. All right. Remember, it's got to be specific. Be simple, and of course, easy for you to say. Now, once you've got this sentence, as I said, you can put it across your Facebook, your Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, okay, all those platforms. And you don't want to confuse any potential clients when they check you out online. So it's got to have the same look, feel, and message throughout. Okay. Now I want you to get this into your nervous system. Your brand must be the same, look the same, feel the same, and say the same things across all platforms. Okay. I help target market who are, name their problem, get desired results. Okay. And your core message is not just important, it is the very key to all your marketing messages that come after that. Okay. It's not just a clever marketing phrase. It really means something by expressing it as a problem. It really demonstrates that you know who your clients are and what their needs are. Okay. The other thing it helps you to do, and this is also really important, it also helps you to narrow your focus because you're talking directly to that bullseye in that dartboard that I spoke about yesterday. And it's not allowing you to have what I call niche creep. Because by trying to talk to everyone, it basically leaves you in the end talking to no one. Okay, so you don't, by really focusing on who you want to talk to, it stops niche creep. Okay, so what would your main message be that you could use over and over again? So by using what I've just said, you should have that main message now strong, and it works for you, it resonates for you, it makes you feel, yes, this is what I do. It gives you that conviction. All right. I work with coaches, I work with consultants, I work with women, I work with men, whatever it is. But make sure that you know deep down in your gut, that you can say that with conviction and people will buy that. Okay. So question 2, where would you promote your message? Okay. As I said before, you can use it on all your online platforms that you use. We'll talk about platforms a little bit later, all right? But the other place that you can use it is that you can use it in your podcast introductions. So whether this is you saying, hi, thank you for interviewing me today. My name is, Deborah Jackson, and I help female coaches do 10K months within 3 months with less struggle. And I'm so pleased that you have me on today. I'm really looking forward to, sharing with the audience XYZ. So you can use it in your podcast introductions. You can use it in your interviews. All right. You could also use it in your networking spiels as the countries start opening up and networking events, online or offline. People will say at a networking event, what do you do? Have that spiel ready. Okay, it's like ammunition. Have it ready, have it practiced so much so that you can say it with conviction. Social situations, parties, barbecues, other events. I also get builders who will come to my place to fix my place, whatever's going on. The first question they say to me is, oh, so what do you do? And when I say I work with female coaches and I help them to create their businesses, building, to 10K months within 3 months or less without a struggle or confusion, I've had a lot of the builders say, oh, my wife needs your card. My wife is doing that. So I've also been able to gain referrals because of the people that I'm, dealing with one-on-one across my entire life. Okay, so by having that, and then you can pull out your phone and go, oh, give me your wife's number, I'll follow her up, or here's my business card, or whatever. And I know most people say, oh, we don't need business cards today, but for a couple of dollars, they're actually still quite handy to have. You can also use it when somebody calls you on the phone or in a Zoom. You can even put it on your phone messages. So when people leave you a message, hi, this is Deborah, I work with, leave a message. And you can also use it in your email signature, because with email signatures, you never know who's going to forward an email that you've written on, and they read your email signature and go, oh, that's interesting. I need somebody. And I've had that happen to me a couple of times over the last couple of years as well. Okay. So I want you to look at all your promotional vehicles available and what feels comfortable for you. So if you do not have an email signature, you're missing prime real estate of getting your message across. If you're not putting it on your telephone as a voicemail message, again, you're losing prime real estate. If you're not introducing yourself, you're losing the opportunity for referrals to be created. Okay. When it comes to your platforms, I know for us ladies, it's very easy to think, oh, I've got to be seen everywhere for people to get to know me, to know, like, and trust me, and to buy me. Now, when I started consulting 15 years ago, there was no platforms, okay? And then the only platform was basically your website. And then the next was from the website, then Facebook started. But it really wasn't what it is today. It was sort of more of a social thing, which is great. But at that stage, none of us marketers really knew how to use it to generate business. I used it just to build relationships, okay? But remember, back then there was no groups, no advertising. It was really just building friends from networking into your profile. And then in that profile, they get to understand you, hear from you, get to know, like, and trust you. And then I had them reach out and contact me. Okay. Then Instagram open and I joined that, and YouTube open and I joined that, and the list go, and Instagram open and I joined that. However, even as a marketing consultant, it is so difficult to keep up with each and every platform. And I remember really focusing my consulting business on social media at one stage. This must have been probably 2014, 15, and I was promoting the consultancy business more as a social media agency. But every 6 months, those social media platforms would change, and each one would change. And it was so incredibly difficult to keep educating yourself because you weren't getting paid for it. So you're trying to go out and attract clients, you're doing client work, and at the same time, you're still doing the education for a platform that 6 months ago you knew like the top of your head, and then they changed it, right? And then, of course, in 2016, 17, Facebook brought in advertising. Now I'm talking Brisbane. It probably was introduced a lot earlier in America, but in Australia, we're probably still a couple of years behind. So it took a while for these tools to really come into the country and to be adopted. Okay. Now, so that was 16, 17 when advertising really started to make a cut through it. And again, my agency changed again, and we did Facebook advertising for clients and landing pages and automation and so forth. And it was around probably 16, 17 that technology finally took off. So prior to that, it was very much you had to plug everything together. And then all of a sudden, around that 16, 17 mark, a lot more technology was developed where there was no plugins. I remember once back in 2013, when I was selling my course and my book, it took me all day to basically do what we can do now in half an hour because there were so many different components of it. Yeah. But I digress. What I'm trying to say is that we as coaches and consultants are very much singular when we start out. Yeah. So it's very difficult to know everything because you're also an expert in your own field. You're also, doing the client attraction, you're also working with your clients, you're also maintaining your own professional prominence in your own field by learning that, new information that may come out. So it's very difficult to keep up to date with each of these platforms as they change. So that's why I recommend picking one platform, okay? So whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, pick one, because we just don't have the energy all the time to learn each of them, okay? So pick one platform and then concentrate all your efforts in learning one platform and building your audience on that platform. However, you may not like social media, okay? There is other tactics out there. So if you don't like social media, you may want to pick tactics like, podcast, being interviewed on podcasts, right? You might want to go out and do more public speaking. You might want to join some networking groups. You might want to build relationships through referrals, okay? There is so many tactics that you can use. And in my Easy Marketing Framework course, I teach you all the tactics so that you can get a handle on each and every one and work out which is the best one that suits you, your personality, your business, and makes you feel the most comfortable. Okay, some people say it's only Facebook. Some people say it's only Instagram. There is, business was done before online. So in my Easy Marketing Framework course, I teach you both online and offline tactics, okay? Because not everybody will feel comfortable being online. But when you're online, as I said, it's good to be, to have one platform and to be really educated in that platform. Now in my course, and me personally, I've tested all platforms and I've chosen that Facebook is the number one platform for me. So I teach very much into the Facebook platform. I dabble a little bit in Instagram, so I give you some ideas in that, but I can't say I'm an expert in it. So it's really Facebook. Okay, it's also good to have one hero talk for your podcast interviews. It's also good to have one hero speech for your public speaking. And I teach you how to prepare all three and also how to get these gigs. Okay. Now, when it comes to your online platforms, let's talk about Facebook here. Okay, because we're online, so we mostly talk about it. And I like it because I can create a Facebook group to develop my audience. I can use my profile to build relationships, and I can use lives, Facebook lives, that will enable me to communicate my value to a global audience. Okay, and Facebook allows you to attract an audience as you can join many different Facebook groups where your ideal client would be hanging out. So I would recommend joining, say, up to 20 groups where your ideal clients are looking for solutions and information of the variety that you solve. Okay, now it doesn't have to be 20. Don't go out and think, oh my God, Deborah said I have to do 20. You might find 10. Okay, you might only find 5. The reason why I say 20 is that when you do your test and measuring, you might find that out of those 20, it comes down that only 5 actually engages. Okay, there's a lot of groups out there that don't engage. There's a lot of dead groups out there as well. So by looking at 20 groups where your ideal premium clients will hang out because they're looking for solutions to their problems, then we will do posting in those 20. You will do some test and measuring, which groups actually give you some feedback, some love. And then as that happens, you can then maybe cut it, probably reduce that down to maybe, you might find that only 8 will really give you the information that, the engagement that you seek, all right? So once you've picked up these groups, then you can post your expertise in these groups. So once you've joined the groups, you can post your expertise in these groups, and that's when you start to get an idea which groups are giving you the most engagement for your posts. Okay, and once you've established that, you can then focus on these groups first and possibly only, or you might go out and find other groups, test to measure them, and it reduces down to a key amount of groups that gives you the engagement that you seek. Okay, now the reason, the key strategy why you are posting in these groups is to get people to join your group. Okay, you want to start evoking curiosity. You want to start encouraging engagement with your posts and with you. Okay, and when that starts to happen, people will see your posts and they'll start following you, because it creates a little some little memory in the back of their mind. And when they start thinking about how they're going to solve a particular problem, a struggle, a frustration that they are going through, or they have a question, and because they have seen posts by you and they start to see you as the expert, it will build up a picture of you as the expert, this go-to person with the knowledge that is going to help them succeed. Okay, does that make sense? Right, drop in yes in the comments below. All right, so I want to run through a few example posts. The first post is, you always want to give value. All right, so give advice, give help. That's the whole reason why you are here. All right, that's the whole reason why you're there in the group, is to give value. And it's probably the reason why you became a coach, was to help people. So if you can't help people before giving value for free, then it won't serve you well. So give value first. And if you're an expert right now and you know what you're talking about, you just need to create you know, a couple of little posts that you can post in all these groups. There is going to be no call to action, no DMing, all right, no joining your group, none of it. It's just going to be give, give, give. All right, so we're going to talk about 3 or 4 different post strategies that you can use. Okay, so the first one, of course, is providing value. An obvious one, all right? You need to give before you can receive. Okay, so do posts like, you know, 3 ways to X or 5 ways to achieve Y, or in your niche. Okay, so write a static post that details why you know what you're talking about and give helpful advice. Yeah, and once you've written this post, you'd literally post it across all the groups. Okay, I would suggest don't post the same post across all all the groups on the same day. Reason being is that there's a lot of people that could be in the same groups. Okay, and so you'll again losing valuable market space if all your posts go out on the same day in all the groups. So what I would suggest is, say you pick 20 groups, divide it by 5 days, so that's 4 groups. So get your post and maybe put it in 4 groups on Monday, and then 4 groups on the Tuesday. Yeah. So that week, you'll put that one post across the groups in that one week, okay? So don't end the post with a link to your group either, all right? Finish the post by saying thank you to the group for being so awesome, that you're learning a lot by being there. Also, you know, you could thank the administration people too. They kind of like that thing. Set the tone for who you are, and this helps relationships. It can build only good things for you, all right? So that's post 1, give, give, give. So another post 2, a topic is sharing your wins. So this is a great post, especially if it's result orientated. And by that, I mean, you can say, I made my first sale. I just helped someone make their first sale. You can share your wins, share things that you've achieved, share things that you've accomplished. It can even be a personal accomplishment. Just share something you want to tell the world about. Okay, you are not being salesy. You are just sharing your happiness. Okay, that what you are doing is working for other people, all right, or helping other people achieve what they want to achieve. And this is where you get to share your own personal wins on your journey. Okay, you could say you got great results, that transition from struggling and frustrated to successful and elated. Okay, now you may have seen many posts from people where it's like how I reached 10K in 3 months, or how I reached 100K in 6 months. Okay, and that's with somebody sharing their wins. They're sharing their joy. Okay, and it showed that what they were doing. So these posts are great to do whenever possible. Okay, and you may have seen some share posts from me, some share win posts from me. Okay, so share anything that you as I said, achieved or accomplished, etc. Okay, when people respond to your message or sends you a message like, yeah, congratulations, woohoo, you can reach out and say things like, thanks for supporting my post. I saw your comment, just started this new group where I'll be sharing more information about how I did it. So if you want to join, you are welcome, and here is the link. They have seen my posts. They know what I do. They know what I'm talking about. They can see the results, okay? They've now got an invitation to my group where they can learn more. It's a complete no-brainer. They are going to want to join it. Okay, so that's post number 2, share your wins. Post number 3 is telling your story. Okay, so this is a post that helps you identify with the group audience. Okay, they are in a group because they are intrigued, they are struggling, and they want to learn a bit more information to help them succeed on their journey. Okay, so you are sharing how you started out. You might go from, you were lost, confused in your entrepreneurial journey, but thanks to the inspiration and the support of groups just like this one, you've pushed through and things have since changed. Yeah, you aren't pushing or plugging anything here, just sharing your story that no doubt everyone else in the group is going through as well. So it helps them to identify with you and vice versa. And again, boosts up your market authority so that people start to remember your name, and each time they start to see your post, they're going to be drawn in and read it because they know they're going to get some value from it. Okay, this isn't necessarily a direct way of getting people into your group, but it will gain you followers and friend requests. Okay, then they see your profile all set up. Remember, your profile is it's key, it's very important. And they'll see your bio, and they will see the link to your group. And again, it's just channeling more people into your group. Okay, and once those requests come in, you can add them as a friend. Then you can introduce yourself and message her, ask some questions, and go from there. And then it can lead them to joining your group, lead to offering them to grab a call, and it can lead to a sale. So you never know until you do it. Okay, and finally, you've got to create some evoking, engaging posts. All right, so you can ask questions. Okay, like the example, so you can ask questions to evoke answers, to gain interactions like wildfire. So people want to have this say, and this gives you the interaction needed to warrant a message inviting them into the group. So your question might be like, who here is an online coach? What is your expertise? Okay, and people will list I am, and this is what I do in the post below. So this kind of opens the door a bit, as everyone is to some degree a coach or a consultant online, or an online personality, yeah, of some description. And depending on what you offer, tailor, put my teeth back in, the questions to suit you. All right, so that you can then react accordingly by DMing them. Tailor the questions to suit you and to get your leads to present themselves by asking simple, to the point questions that evoke engagement. That is what social media is all about, engagement. So question 3, what routine schedule would you put together? Okay, so I hope the example post that I've given has given you some ideas, and you want to really look at what's going on in these other groups. All right, so when I first started out, I spent a whole week just going to each group, understanding the group, seeing the posts, seeing some of those promotional posts like the question posts and so forth, really to understand what was going on in these groups. And I also started to write out some example posts that I could also do in these groups. Now, remember, the whole reason is to get people into your group. Okay, however, you want to do it professionally, and you want to do it organically. So doing these types of posts where you are providing value, sharing your wins, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, sharing your market authority is the most powerful way of authentically building your group. So do a post that you would want to read, okay? A little story post, a post that you're curious about that person, so you want to read it. Give value, be kind, be authentic, and be helpful. You can also use your profile page to drive traffic to your group. There is no time limit on these posts, and you can and should do this indefinitely. Okay, so obviously you won't be only doing these posts on your profile. You still need to share relevant information, relevant personal information too. Okay, so when you put some of these posts on your personal profile, you want to share other personal stuff too. So, and then you can sprinkle these every few days, and you'll start to paint that picture of your market authority to not only your existing friends list, but to any new potential friends that are in that snooping stage, right? Trying to see if you're the real deal or not. So within your personal profile, you would use the 4 post examples that I gave, plus more personal stuff that you're going through, so they get a good feel of who you are as a person, plus testimonials. All right, so the goal of these posts is to grow your market authority, but you need to give someone direction. Okay, and that direction at the end is, you could, as I said, reach out. Some of the posts on your profile, on your personal profile, may be to reach out to them and DM and inviting them into your group. Some of your posts might say, hey, if you like this post, join my group, and put the link in there. So in your personal profile, you may not do any major promotions for your, maybe campaigns that you're running, but you may every now and then put a link into your group to get your friends from your profile into joining your group. Okay, and then you want to work out your schedule, your routine schedule. And I would suggest at least 3 times a week. Okay, though I know for better cut through from the algorithm, I would recommend posting at least every day in your Facebook group, at least. I know people who will post 2-3 days in their Facebook group. Post at least every day in your profile. Then divide up, as I said before, divide up your 20 groups, i.e. 5 days, so 5 into 20 is 5 5s are 25. 5 into 20 is 4. So you would post a particular story, the same story, into 4 groups a day, okay? And that will help the Facebook algorithm to boost your personality up to the front in each of these groups, in your own Facebook group and your profile. Okay. Does that make sense? Drop a yes in the comments below. Yes, great, yes, fantastic. All right, remember this is on replay, so you can look at it from time to time. Okay, well, that's it for today's training. You may have questions, and I invite you to jump into my Facebook group, Easy Marketing, and we'll create a thread for you so you can ask continued questions. Also, if you want a social media audit, so you might be sitting there going, all this information is great, and I really probably need the second eye policy on my social media platforms. So if you're wanting a social media audit where I can check out what you're doing online to see if I can see any areas that, you know, of recommendation that I can find, give you some, you know, tips and tricks and ways of fixing certain things up, or, you know, congratulate that you've got everything nailed, okay, then drop me a, you know, that you want a media audit in a DM, plus the link to one that you are the most, one of the platforms that you are the most active on, all right? And then I will go in there, check it out, then I will send you, you know, messenger feedback. I will have a messenger conversation for some feedback from what I've been able to discover. Okay. Also, if you're going through this and you think, oh my gosh, I need to figure all this out in my business, then I highly suggest you book in a call with me. So drop a call or send me a DM if you want, and we can chat about that as well. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Tomorrow we will talk, tomorrow day 4 is our last day, and we'll talk specifically about performance. Okay, performance with confidence. So we're going to be talking about sales tomorrow. Okay, so if you are watching this live, then it will be 10 o'clock Brisbane, so which is Australian Eastern Standard Time, and obviously I'll be sending out the replays as well. So I want to thank you so much. I will chat to you all later. Alrighty, bye, lovely ladies. Thank you for joining me. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Beautiful. Okay, thank you.